Welcome to One Book, One Review. Hey everybody, today I wanted to do the Desert Island book tag, but looking at my bookshelves I realized you probably all know what kind of books I take on an island, so I decided to do something else. But check the footnotes for the Desert Island book tag if you're interested in doing it yourself. So what am I going to talk about instead today? I thought about Tuesday. Well, if you watched Tuesday's video, you've seen that I have a lot of unfinished books in my B section. And that's partly because some of them I bought for university and I didn't like them, and others are cover fails. So you probably already know that I choose books by the cover, and I love to do that, and I discovered a lot of great books by that. But every now and again I fail. And this is one of my biggest failures. I mean, look at the cover. It's amazing. The back has little pictures. I don't know if you can see that. So all this is very intriguing and interesting. The title is Q, so I really thought good title. And it has a little writing down here saying a great novel, one that tells us about ourselves and how we came to be here. And I thought, that sounds really great. I should read it. And I tried to read it, but I just couldn't get into it. The writing is too, I don't even know how to say it. It's just not gripping. It's not descriptive in a way that you like it. You don't care about the characters. It's jumping back and forth, which I normally don't mind. But I couldn't get into the story. And so I stopped reading. I didn't always do that. There was a time when I finished every book, no matter how bad I thought it is and how much I didn't like it. But then I came upon Frank Schätzing's Der Schwarm. I think it's a swarm in English. And I really didn't like it from the beginning, but all my friends loved it. So I thought, okay, I'll continue reading because they kept saying it's getting better and better and better. Now this book is about 1,000 pages long, I think, and it's separated in part 1 and part 2. And after part 1, I was 500 pages into the book. I still didn't like it, and so I thought, I'm not going to do that. It's a waste of my time. That's when I learned that I don't have to finish every book if I really don't like it. The same happened with this one. I passed it often in a bookstore and I thought, do I want to buy it or do I not want to buy it? I'm not completely sure, but it had donuts on the cover and it says this book will save your life. So it sounded promising and it started off a little slow, but I thought it'll pick up, but it didn't. I read like 70 pages of the 370 and I couldn't get into the story. I didn't like the characters and the writing was not completely that I could overlook the lack of story. Sometimes I can do that. If I like the writing really well, then I don't care what the story is about. Or the other way around. If the story is really captivating and gripping, I don't care how bad the writing is. But if both is not really interesting, yeah, why continue reading? The last 3 books I want to show you were cover buys as well because they had interesting covers. They had a lot of praise written on it and I was like, why not read it? And I wasn't completely thrilled, but I was interested enough to want to know how they ended, but it was a struggle to get through them. One of that is Wicked. I didn't see this cover the first time I saw this book. I saw the other one, this one. I hope you can see that. And I thought this is an interesting cover, an interesting idea to write about the Wicked Witch of the West and her story. And I thought it might be good, but I wasn't convinced. I really didn't care for it and I thought it was rather weird. And yeah, I just wanted to know how it ended. The same happened to me with The Echo Maker. This is a cover that is really interesting. It doesn't tell you a lot, but the name Echo Maker sounds interesting. And I heard a lot about Richard Powers being a great writer and it says it's an exhilarating narrative feat on the cover. So I thought I'd buy it, but the story is not really that interesting. It's confusing and the writing didn't convince me and I really had to fight my way to the end and I was really disappointed with the ending. The last disappointment I had was Harry Revised. I mean, look at this cover. Who wouldn't want to buy this cover? It's got a picture, it's got writing, it's got animation, it's got a lot of praise, it's saying it's a very funny book and I fell for that. And the writing is okay, but the story is rather not interesting. It's about an older man who lost his wife and fell in love with a little bit older teenager. I think she's in the beginning of her 20s. And how he does a lot of stupid things and gets sucked into a completely different life. And it's okay to read till the end, but I expected so much more looking at this cover. A much better writing and a much better story. So tell me about your cover failures. I know that we all tend to look at covers and think like, this book is about that, and this book is probably like that. And of course, due to experience. And sometimes, I have to admit, sometimes we fail. Thanks for watching One Book, One Review, and I'll see you again on Tuesday. Bye bye.